Hello, everyone. This is Kristen of Dragonfly Heart Medicine Radio. Thank you for joining, whether you are listening or watching on YouTube. And my guest for today, I have actually known for several years. I want to say since maybe 2017. I think I found her on Facebook, and I attended one of her shamanic trainings, and I've done a few of her other classes since then. Her name is Jennifer Boose, and I will let her introduce herself in a little bit more detail and just kind of share about why she decided to join us on the podcast today.
Yeah, well, thanks so much, Kristen, for inviting me to chat. I'm Jennifer Boose, and I came to into alchemy and energy probably later in life than many people do. My background is actually in art and biology.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a near-death experience, or neither was I aware of, seeing people's auras when I was a child or anything like that. My connection was actually through the sheer joy of playing in dirt and walking in the forest and the streams and drawing. I actually drew what I saw, and it's rocks of all kinds have always fascinated me. I love crystals, of course, and work with those. Also, human and plant systems really always fascinated me, and the questions of who we are and how did we get here and where have we been really continue to engage me at a very deep level. So I'm a spiritual energy healer. I'm the former director and teacher at the School of Esoteric Healing, and I'm certified in past life and between lives regression therapies and holographic repatterning and geobiology. And I really feel that our inner and outer worlds reflect each other, and personal healing can change the world around us, and our environment allows us to thrive and grow. So that's generally who I am and what I do.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. I know you have quite a few things that I am interested in discussing that I have not discussed with anybody, not just on the podcast, but in general. There are things that are new to me, so I'm excited to learn. So, because you already kind of talked about, some of the things you're passionate about, and it's interesting that you have a background in biology because so do I. And I think that's what really sparked my interest as well about learning more about our bodies and our environment. And then it turned into this beautiful blend of the science and the spiritual. It was really cool because not everybody thinks that they can actually be blended together in the way that they can.
Right.
And then, your crystals and all the different things that you do. So what do you think, if you could put this in a brief summary, I guess, what do you feel your purpose is with all these passions? How does that align to your purpose?
Right. Well, I really feel and first of all, I should say that I really feel like I struggled with what my purpose was for years because I had a career in the art world, and I didn't pursue biology as a career, but I was always interested in the functioning of animals and people, and got a BA degree in biology, but went off into the art world and really pursued that. And so I was unclear what my purpose was, but over time I really felt like when I really honed in on it, my purpose is to explore connections between humans and the inner planes of being. as well as the connection of animals and plants on, with the celestial realms. So that's kind of like the broad picture of purpose, and purpose can incorporate a lot of things that I've found. So when you have a feeling of, something that excites you when you do it, like, a lot of people have like hobbies that they are like really involved in, and even, your purpose can spring from things like that as well. So basically, it's like my purpose is exploring those connections between, human beings and who they are, in the higher realms and on their own inner planes.
Fascinating stuff. Yeah. So I really want to learn more about the life between lives sessions that you do.
Yeah.
I know I'm a little bit familiar with past life regressions. I've never had one done officially. I've kind of like explored past life through meditation and like drumming. And I think I did do one workshop with you where we did something like healing with the ancestors or whatnot. And I was able to relive a past life through that.
Right.
But the idea of what happens in between our lives and how you can actually, I guess, lead people to that place in a session. So what exactly is a life between lives session?
Okay, well, this is really the most exciting part of the work I do. A life between lives session is, well, a lot of people call them LBL. So people will see that acronym used often. Um, Life between lives, spiritual regression. It's also known as life between lives, soul regression. So it's a deep hypnosis technique, and it's based on the groundbreaking research of Michael Newton, who was a psychologist and a hypnotherapist and author of the books Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. So the spiritual realm is our true home. And it's where we really personify peace and joy, order, love, compassion, and non-judgment. And when we're exploring our existence in the spiritual realms, that also offers us the understanding of our true identity. So this between lives soul regression is really a joyful experience where you can, really get in touch with your soul nature. So we achieve that through a process that takes us deeper than the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind, where we actually access a past life and early childhood memories, but it takes us into the superconscious mind where we access soul level memories. So the LBL session differs from other hypnotic or hypnosis techniques because it requires a much deeper level of trance and a really deep state of relaxation of the body and this simultaneous alertness of the superconscious mind. So people differ in their ability to reach that level of trance. So it's always advisable to have a past life regression before you have your first life between lives session, just so that you can explore your ability to be regressed and go into that hypnotic state. And that also helps release any unconscious fears that some people have about this type of work. So the Life Between Lives session it's a long session. It's about 4 hours, but it includes a pre-session interview and where you talk about your cast of characters, which are the people in your life that have significance to you, and how these people who have had an impact on your life. And we talk about those people, and then a list of questions that you bring to to the session to explore with your guides and helping spirits, spirit allies, and your council of elders, who is a group of high beings who kind of record your progress through your lifetimes, and they stay with you throughout your entire process of incarnations and sort of give you an update on your progress when you access them in between lives, so you can always um, be consciously aware of how you're doing on the earth plane.
Um, that is just like, it's like, I don't even know where to go next. I'm just like, wow. Like just like taking that in, and the fact that it's 4 hours, but like all the different things that are included within that 4 hours. And then, the main thing is really being able to get to that state, right? That deep hypnosis and like trust that you're going to be okay throughout it, and that you're there guiding them. It's not like they just like go off into the spirit realm without any guidance, or they're just like
Exactly.
floating around all willy-nilly, not knowing what's going on.
Right. And I want to make it clear that it's like during this process, I'm guiding you and asking you questions about your experience, and I'm recording the whole thing so that you can listen to it again later. And it feels like it goes much, much faster than 4 hours. A lot of people, it's like, when they, come back to consciousness, they'll, it'll be, 4 hours will have passed and they feel like it's only been 1 hour. So it's, you don't feel like you've spent 4 hours doing this. It's much, it's much more, it's super packed, but it feels like it goes very quickly.
Well, because when you're in that deep state, you're kind of more connected to the spirit realm, where there's no real time and space anyway.
Exactly.
So, and you're not like fully aware with your conscious self what's going on.
Right.
That makes sense. I feel like the thought initially of like 4 hours seems really like daunting. Like, oh, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
But not, if you're guided the entire time and you're asking questions, and so it's engaging. Yeah, I could see how that would definitely go by a lot faster.
Oh yeah. It's not like sitting and just meditating on your own, for, I mean, a lot of people, it's like, an hour is about all you can do. I mean, I know a lot of people do longer than hour meditations, but I would just hope that knowing that this is going to take 4 hours doesn't inhibit people from stepping into the possibilities that you can explore within that higher realm of super consciousness, because it's so it's such a joyful experience, and it is a place of absolute unconditional love in every way you can possibly imagine, and it's a very nourishing experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it, to pretty much go on a journey to connect with your guides in a completely different way than you can do by yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to hypnotize yourself and to get into those deep trance states. And so how long have you been doing these sessions?
Well, I do them. I've started doing them in person again, but most of them I've for the last couple of years, of course, I've done on Zoom.
Okay.
And there was some kind of a little apprehension about doing it on Zoom because I learned that you need to have like really close contact with your client during hypnosis in order to watch um, hand gestures or little movements of the body, and the blinking of eyes, or the rapid eye movement, or expressions on the face during a hypnosis session. But I really found that all of that is really, yes, it's useful information to have during a hypnosis session, but I really felt like that kind of fell by the wayside and was much less important than I was led to believe in my training. And it may have just been because that we had never been forced into that situation before,
Right.
So doing it on Zoom has been at least as wonderful as doing them live, if not better, because people have they can stay in their own home, in their own comfortable, bed or recliner, or, it's completely a familiar environment. And so that eliminates, a few worries or concerns right there.
Wow, yeah. And I think that's been something that's been a really beautiful result of the times that we're in, is things that normally would only be reserved for in person. We're able to do it through Zoom, and then we can reach so many more people with our gifts, talents, and abilities, right? Instead of me just doing Reiki to people in, Greensboro, I can do Reiki with somebody in California or even in
Yeah,
a completely different country. And similar with you. So we're able to reach so many more people,
exactly.
and serve a lot more people in a way that we may have not even considered
Yeah,
before this.
totally, totally. I just actually did a series of 3 past life regressions with someone in Romania this month. So it was
Oh,
like, it's that just great.
mhm. Absolutely. And so, what are some experiences people have had during these sessions that have
Mm,
been um, noteworthy or
yeah,
interesting?
well, you as I alluded to, we start out with you when you whether you're at home in your own comfortable home, and we're doing this on Zoom, or if you're meeting with me live, we start out just getting you comfortable. I have you relax on a recliner in my healing room, and we'll begin by reviewing your list of significant people that I mentioned. These are people who've had a profound effect on your life, positive and negative. Um, and you have, prepared that list in advance of our time together. And also, these questions that you have about your, existence as a soul on earth, it's like really pertinent questions, like questions that maybe you've been thinking about your whole life. You can, bring these questions, especially, if you've struggled with knowing what your life purpose is. And that's one that is commonly brought to these sessions so that people have an understanding of why are they on earth.
Mhm.
And so you prepare that list of questions and significant people in your life. And then we start out by just doing some deep relaxation for body and mind. And the journey begins by going back through a couple of childhood events just so that you can practice the access of memories and feeling what that is like, remembering long ago memories that may have significantly faded, especially the ones in your, very, very early childhood. So we just do a little practicing on accessing those memories because you really can. And we focus on pleasant memories. We don't want to dwell on, traumatic events, because that's not the purpose of this work. We can do more of that in, age regression work, and even a little bit of that in past life regression work. But in Life Between Lives, we're going back through that, just step by step, through teenage years, just to touch upon it, and touching upon your earlier childhood, and then going into the womb briefly, and passing into straight into a past life, the past life just before this one that you're now living. So, in that past life, we might explore one significant event in that life, and then we go directly to the death scene of that past life, and that is not a frightening experience, because we just want to use that death scene as an access into the spirit realms. All right. So there's a whole technique that we go through to make that death scene very comfortable and not traumatic. It can be emotional because a lot of times people don't want to leave loved ones, and so there can be some emotion there, which is fine. It doesn't linger. We're stepping right into that in between life space where you begin to, you arrive and meet your soul, your spirit, to meet a spirit guide who welcomes you to the gateway. And and then we kind of take it from there. There are many stations that we try to explore in 4 hours. We rarely get through all of them in 4 hours, and you would think that wouldn't be a problem with that amount of time, but everything slows down in this process. You're much more thoughtful, you're much more aware, and you notice more things that are going on around you. A lot of people like to spend time just resting and recovering from maybe a hard life that they had exited just previously. And after that R&R, you can go and meet your soul family and have them welcome you back into the spirit realms. And that's also always a joyful homecoming and experience. So when that happens, it's, that's very emotional too. And people really do want to, spend some time reconnecting with their family that way. So also, it's a time when you can talk to those beings and kind of settle some uncomfortable relationships as well. So there's that experience, like reconciliation. You can move on to just having some time with your primary spirit guide and learning learning what you may have overlooked in the life that you just left, and how to heal that aspect of that life. And there's a lot of healing that takes place in between lives, and a lot of learning. You may decide to go to a library and learn more about a skill that you want to really develop. You can spend more time with your guide, just learning information and wisdom from your guide. You can go to talk to your council of elders and learn what kind of progress you're making. And you can go into your it's a special area where you choose your parents, you choose your body, you choose when and where you're going to be born. And that's always very revealing. But there's a lot to cover in the time that we have together, and a lot of people come back for more than one session because it's so revealing and healing to spend time in that place, so that you can actually bring that back with you into your current life, and have some really make some accelerated progress, because it's like suddenly you have all the answers, and you can really just really begin to step into knowing who you are at a deeper level, and kind of take the rest of your life from there.
Wow. That's what I was going to say, the deeper level. It just sounds like this process allows you to connect with your guides, your council of elders in a much deeper and profound way than you could possibly do it, on your own, just through meditation. I mean, I've had pretty profound experiences just through meditation, but what you're offering is, just a way to get more specific answers and to spend prolonged time with those guides instead of for me, when I have connected with guides or ancestors in meditation, it's usually pretty brief, 10 to 20 minutes, and then things kind of fade away and I don't always feel complete. So it sounds like if I were to do something like this, there's more time, there's more opportunity, there's guidance, and you're going into the deep hypnosis to really and it seems like things just kind of slow down, and there's not a lot of pressure. you're not really thinking about how much time because you're in hypnosis. But that you get to gain a lot of knowledge. And I feel like just by like you said, even just spending time with your soul family and your guides and kind of learning more about yourself and why you came here when you did, instead of just making inferences and assuming that when maybe you have one of these sessions and it's like, oh, I was kind of right, but there's this whole other level to this thing and it makes sense. And it sounds like it can be very powerful, very emotional, but also really encouraging and kind of help propel you forward in your own personal evolution.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people, it's like they bring questions to these sessions about discoveries or realizations that they've made during meditation that they were still confused about. So they bring that as a question to a session, and the information that's revealed is really quite surprising, and it's more expansive than we can really connect to in our everyday lives, in this incarnated body. It's like if you can kind of shed the body and go, take this journey without it, without the distractions of a body, that's really when you can make progress. So it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that just sounds like a really beautiful opportunity to gift ourselves to do something like this.
Yeah,
So,
it is. It really is.
and what other services do you offer? You mentioned something I had never heard about. I don't remember the whole phrase, but something like the holographic something, something, something. What was that?
Yeah. I also do holographic repatterning,
Repattern. Okay.
right? Which is it is an aspect of space clearing that I do, where we actually give your property and home its its divine blueprint, what it was from the beginning of time when Earth was created. So a lot's happened on the planet since since the Earth was created. Of course, it's evolved and transformed in many different ways, many different times. And so when we go back to the divine blueprint of your property or your home, we're actually erasing a lot of the trauma that has occurred on the land and giving it back its, divine resource. That's it in a nutshell. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that, and but that's basically what we're doing with a space clearing. So of course, I also do past life regressions and energy work, and but really it's like what really lights me up the most is doing the life between lives work and past life regressions, because I feel like that really does change people's lives.
Yeah, when we can finally get some answers to the questions that we seek, there's a little bit of a relief and like, oh, okay, things are making a little bit more sense. And I understand why I do this and why I've done that and how it's all a part of, the divine plan. Because we know that, okay, everything's happening for my highest good. Everything is part of the divine plan. But to get like specific answers seems like it would be really reassuring that we really are, everything really is planned out, and we plan out a lot of it in between our lives and the experiences that we're going to have.
We it's like we have a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, and we make these plans challenging, and we also we make them challenging from the thought behind the challenge is to make it fun. And when we get down here, it's like we get really serious, and suddenly the fun is not fun. And when we're in that between life state, it's like we really do have that feeling of being there is a feeling of joy and lightness. So being there and remembering where our challenges stem from. You know, it's like, yeah, we did set this up this way, but we can change those ideas and challenges as well. So I guess actually this might be a good place to mention I'm doing a 7-week class that
Okay.
starts November 18th. That is actually all about um, re kind of reassessing your soul track, how you might want to change it, and really like diving deep down into your soul purpose and your soul character, your sacred character, what
Mhm.
makes you who you are, and really spending a lot of time diving deep into that and understanding it, and really understanding how to utilize it better in your current life.
That sounds like something I think most of us could benefit from, is having the time to really do that. And once again, having the guide, having the support, and knowing that we're not alone, and there is
Yeah,
someone like you out there who can help walk us through all of these things for sure. And I mean, I'll share any information that you want me to, like if you have a website, social media, a link for
sure.
this event so people can register for that if they so choose. Um,
Absolutely.
Lots of options and things going on.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I can be reached at my on my through my website, which is alchemyandenergy.com.
Mhm.
And I'd love to, I welcome people to join our private Facebook group, Alchemy and Energy. And definitely email me. I love to get email and answer every email I get. So that's Jennifer at alchemyandenergy.com.
And I'll put all these links in the description on the YouTube channel, or even if you're listening, there'll be links and contact information. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
Well, I guess the really what all the gist of all this is that we are far greater than we realize. We do forget. We probably forget 99% of our plan when we are come into this density. So I think that certainly makes it for a challenging life. And we have these, resources that we can access to kind of refresh our memory, right? And it's really a relief to access that information, and we have a lot of aha moments, and like I mentioned before, it's just the joy that is in that place that we can touch again is you know beyond description. It really is.
That really puts it into perspective, like forgetting 99%. That's like, oh, okay, that makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense, you know.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Well, well, thank you so much for being a guest and sharing some of your wisdom and knowledge with us. And
I really appreciate the invitation. Thank you so much. It's good to be with you.
mhm. And thank you to anybody who's listening or watching. If you're watching, please subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can have your continued support. And I'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot, Kristen.
You're welcome. Thank you.